I did say in Saturday's video, I'm not into old stuff. The very next day, Pinch pulls up with something a bit older, a little bit cooler on the back of his truck. And without hesitation, I said, yep, get it unloaded. Let's get into it. I did mention that I'm not into old stuff, but this is a little bit different. This is slightly later than old stuff. Old vehicles, no electric steering, air-cooled. It's not a bit of me. If it's your cup of tea, happy days. I like something with power steering. Don't mind the keep fit windows, but it's got to have power steering and a couple of creature comforts. This is it a Mark II Caddy pickup? I know it's not a Mark 1, and I do know that it is basically a Skoda Felicia. They make the yellow ones. Andy, you mentioned earlier you like the yellow ones. The yellow's not the best colour, but they're pretty cool motors, right?
They are pretty smart.
They do look good. This one has been sat in a field. It's a W plate, 66,000 miles. It lived in a horse field. We've got the hay. There's probably 50p of hay there. It's got some cool buckety Dewberry Firkin type plastic lining, probably hiding rust, but I will whip it out and see. It's got the nice top around the body here. Screws are not attached, but it's fine. I'm reckoning a couple of screws with some number plate caps on them. We're not sure what to do with it. It's not mine, it's Pinch's just down there, but he likes a cool vehicle. I like this too, so he's probably going to keep it, maybe MOT it and use it. I don't know. We're not sure. We need to clean it up outside, inside, and see whether it's worth saving, because if it's rotten from front to back, it's not worth it. It's not worth a full restoration, because there is clean ones out there for not a lot of money. But is it just savable to be squinting and minting? We shall see. It's all right. I can see a few patches of welding inside. It's had a blowover at some point, and how do I know that? Well, inside the fuel flap, it's still got masking tape on, and they haven't peeled the masking tape off. So it has had a repaint. I don't know the condition of the paint. I can see it looks shiny, and it's on there pretty flat, but I don't know if it's going to peel off. So we need to clean it, we need to pressure washer it. I'm not going to get too close with the pressure washer because we don't want to start blowing paint off. It's not rusty on any of the wheel arches, surprisingly. We do have quite a bit of growth going on around the trims. It's all around the window rubbers. Cameras come out, guess what guys? Noise. We're going to roll with it. We've got a lot of debris under the wipers. Me and Pinch was playing with it yesterday, and I said don't accidentally use the wipers, because if you wipe that off, it loses the, I don't know, we're going to clean it, and when you're cleaning a motor, that looks better when it's cleaned off. We haven't washed it at all. Pinch was eager to clean it yesterday. I've managed to make him hold back because we're going to do a clean it video. I know it runs, it fires up on the button. We put a new battery on it, and because it's old, 19D, you actually have to wait for the glow plugs. Wait for the glow plug, orange light goes out, did it brum, absolutely brilliant. Let's have a little butcher's inside. You come around this side and show them the quality of the inside. The floor is a little bit ropey. We've got growth going on the floor, and what's going on, someone has done some welding up the back, which has ever so slightly burnt the plastic lining in the boot. Then water's drained through the hole, drained through the little bit of rust, and soaked in the floor. If we take that out, seal it up, re-stone chip it, it should be good. And look, it didn't smell in here, and then the sun come out. Even though we've gone from summer to autumn overnight. Hello Ben. Thanks, no problem at all. Yeah, no worries mate, anytime. Overnight it's gone from summer to autumn to winter. The sun come out momentarily and it absolutely stunk in it. It was thick. You couldn't breathe in here, you couldn't do anything. I like the simpleness of what's going on here. We have driven it and there's no knocks, bangs. The suspension has fared up 66,000 miles and honestly, it drives so good. I'm just going to quickly fire it up. Let's just get straight into it. And then we're going to do some cleaning. You got to wait for the glow plugs, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. The bulb was gone on the glow warning light, so I'm going to pull the fascia out because it will have a bulb in the back. It does run. Let's try one more time. It done this a minute ago. One more time and then we'll move on. Maybe you got to leave it longer. There is a lot of receipts in there. A lot. Let's try this again. All right, I promise, it does run. There is some stuff in it, and I'll tell you what it has got. It has got old school pop-off cassette player. And Pinch said they were factory. Hopefully the fascia's in here somewhere, because it would be a shame if it wasn't. It'd be a shame to have to pull that out. We've got another folder of history, original handbook. That is very nice. Oh my God. We have got one Sony case. Yes, check that out. Sony fascia. We got the Mega D base. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? I can see it's work.
Families of those who die.
Oh yeah!
And nurses will be asked what the country can learn.
That is pretty cool. Have we got enough glow yet? Oh yeah! Absolutely brilliant. We need to give it a clean outside. I'm going to stuff this back in there. That fascia find is literally perfect. Interior light don't work. Oh, it worked! Yes. We got dirty contact, but that can be cleaned. We're going to clean the outside. I'm going to show you the engine bay. Hello, not busy or anything. Then I'm going to get the seats out and the carpet. We're going to town. Don't know what to do with it. Is it savable? Is it worth saving to have as a better run around? I don't know. Let's have a look under the bonnet. It is pretty straight. There's no dents or dings up it. Check that out. We have already been under here with like WD-40 and given it a bit of a WD-40 bomb, but she is 19D. There is foliage absolutely everywhere. I am going to pressure wash under here. Some people say you can't pressure wash an engine. Yes, you can. Diesel's all right. Obviously, if you're going to pressure wash an engine, don't get too close to electrical connectors. You can brush over them, but just don't fire it right in there. And we've got some sound padding up the back here. If I pressure wash that, it might explode and look terrible. So I'm going to pressure wash close some areas and further out in others. We've stuck a battery on it already, and it literally fired straight up in the field that he dug it out from. It's had a service. I know it's had a service. We've got fresh fuel filter. We popped the airbox off. That's got a fresh filter in it. I wonder about the timing belt. Maybe we'll pop that off, because if you're going to keep it, it deserves a timing belt. Let's get some cleaning products ready. I'm going to take a montage of shots, and then we're going to clean the outside, detail and clean the engine bay, then look at the interior, then get it on the ramp. What an absolute peach! check that out. We scrubbed it. Me and Andy, we went round it with truck wash. We went round it with a scrubbing brush. A bit harsh with the scrubbing brush, but it needed some exfoliating. We washed it twice. Then we went round it with the lotions and potions. No, just a bucket and sponge. Went round it twice, rinsed it twice. It has come up really nice. There is a few marks round the edges. It's a little bit rough round the edges, but ain't we all? Yeah. Really nice. Bodywork is not too bad at all. What an absolute peach. There is a few marks that won't come out, and I can buff them out. I could spend a few hours polishing it. We've also got, where it had previous paintwork, we've got some runs. The swage line is a bit ropey. I can polish it. Let me get the bonnet, wherever the bonnet is. Obviously, I could spend some time polishing it. But I do have another idea. I'll explain at the end of the video. Let's have a look under the bonnet. Needs a wiper blade, not the end of the world. Check out under there. Front panel's nice, the stickers are all still intact. Yeah, very nice. And I did lightly pressure wash around the outside. The lining was already knackered behind the battery, but we lightly went over it. You might be able to detail it a bit more, and you could go mad. You could get some anti-rust solution and just brush some anti-rust solution on that battery tray in a few strategic areas, just to keep it at bay that little bit longer. That has come up really nice. Yeah. So before we move on to the interior, because obviously you guys know me, if you've ever seen me clean something, to clean stuff, and those seats are hanging. But you've seen on the channel some dirty seats and some dirty carpets come up really nice. Before we go into cleaning the inside and making it sopping wet, I reckon me and Andy need to take it for a drive up the estate. So, Andy, what do you think of it in here?
It's brilliant. It's a nice amount of space.
It's nice, it's basic, but brilliant, right?
Yeah.
Let's,
everything you need.
It's fired up. Maybe it wants a glow plug or two, because sometimes you have to wait 8-10 seconds and it'll go. Speedo work? So we have got a sticky caliper. So the brakes are a bit sticky, so I need to get my foot under it. There's a dog in the road, get out the road. It runs really well. Steering's nice, power steering. All the mod cons, it's good.
It is really nice.
There's no knocks or bangs.
No. Like I said earlier on, when I shut the door, it sounds like a new car door.
Does sound good.
Really good.
Yeah, 66,000 miles and it's done well. We can't go too far. We can't go off the estate, so I'm going to have to turn around here. Blower don't work. Might be a resistor, might be a motor. I can hear a clicky drive shaft on the front left, maybe an outer CV joint. Andy's doing the couple of CV joints, but it'll probably go for an MOT with the CV joints. It just doesn't sound the nicest. Third gear. Oh yeah, we're ripping.
She pulls well.
It does. Someone's just about to get out of that car. Yeah. Let's put the foot down. There's another dog there. Sort your dogs out. It's an industrial estate, not a dog park. Foot down. Does smooth, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Some of you might say put a PD in it and stuff like that, put some wheels on it, put some coilovers on it, and you're not wrong. It would be cool, but it survived this long completely standard. It drives well, the engine pulls well enough. I believe it would sit at 80, even though you're meant to stick to 70. I believe it would sit at 80, no problem. Let's have one more go up and down the estate. We missed the dog the first time. Let's try and get him this time. We have got a sticky caliper, I mentioned. You can tell the sound of an old diesel, they're a bit clacky.
Yeah.
It does quieten down when it's warmed up. I would drive this about.
Definitely.
I would definitely drive this about. So I need to go for dinner. Missing the kids. Might hear the CV joint clicking away there. I'm going to come back and get the seats and the carpet out. But I thought we better drive it before it was soaking wet.
Yeah.
We didn't want to get too wet.
That's a good idea.
It's driving nice. I'm looking forward to taking this out the street, but then it would need an MOT. Can we do an MOT on a budget? And no, I don't mean a backhander MOT. I mean, if it needs a CV joint, can we put a bit of grease in it? If it needs this, can we put a cable tie on it? If it's got a blowing exhaust, can we put a bit of gun gum? I haven't said that word in a few years. In the exhaust. Can we do an MOT for not a lot? Would you like to see a video on MOT? And I've had an idea. And my idea is obviously dependent. Let me turn this off. I believe it's worth it. I believe it's worth a little bit of time and effort. I do still need to clean the inside, check the floor, get it in the workshop, get it up in the air and have a look. But if it's mechanically sound, I could spend 3 hours polishing it. Or I have got some old white paint in there that goes on really nice and shiny. There's a few areas where there's runs, there's a few areas where there's streaky paint. I could spend a while cleaning this, polishing that. Or do me, Andy, Rowan, Pinch and a few others spend 3 hours quickly sanding it down, tape up a few bits. I'm going to block the swage line straight, or shall I? And then just give it the quickest coat of paint. Is that a video you want to see? MOT work, MOT, quick coat of paint, and then a proper drive out. I'm talking miles. That's on the cards. If you want to see another video, because we are in the middle of build series, we're in the middle of the Caddy Maxi, Rowan's one, Andy's one. I reckon we could do this in a week. Let me know if you want to see it. But it's pretty cool, right?
It's sweet, yeah.
It is cool. I'm going for dinner. Let's get the interior out. Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
We got the passenger seat out, no problem. But because someone's done some welding behind me, burnt the plastic tub, there's still pinholes. The water's draining in through there and it has rusted out. The front seat bolts look like they've come from the Titanic. They are not pretty. I've been hammering, chiseling them. I'm gonna get some mole grips. They haven't come out. But I'm gonna try and get the back bolts, but the seat would get to there and it would lock up. I have loaded it up with WD-40 and we're getting there. I can see the back bolts. I'm going to take the back bolts out, give the seat a wiggle, trying to loosen up the rust. I've just got 2 more bolts to get out. And then I don't think there's a lot holding the carpet in. Let's get it. What an absolute slog that was. We had to get the belt sander and take the heads of the bolts off. These seats are very light. compared to a modern seat. They are very light. No airbags, no safety belt warnings. Have a look in here. Well, there is definitely some growth going on in there. Not very nice. And if I pan to the left, someone's done a patch of welding. That bit's leaking. That has burnt the plastic and it's now leaking through there. So we need to take the tub out the back and seal it up. And I can spot some fiberglass. There is some fiberglass poking through rust. It's not rusting anymore, so that is just about DTE approved. We're not going to attack that. We're just going to anti-rust it, paint some stuff over it. Maybe, for MOT purposes. Seats are finally out, and considering they're 2000 reg, W plate, they're not too bad. They haven't worn through. These are going to come up real nice. I believe I've got an arty little shot of before, and now I'm going to go in with all the lotions and potions, just truck wash, and some demon clean. We're going to go nuts. You meant to water the truck wash down 50-50. She's straight neat. We ain't watering nothing down. We got a greasy head. We got sweaty crack area. Not nice. I am just going to soak them in this. Pinch has also got some fabric cleaner. We're going to load it up with stuff and pressure wash them. They should come out really nice. We shall see. It has been a couple of days and we was busy. Let's have a little look at the interior. Carpet's out, carpet's clean, seats in and nearly dry. I did also pressure wash the door cards. I literally opened the door, pressure washed them, shut the door. Cleaned it inside, cleaned the dash, it's come up all right, needs a bit of detailing. I know I joke about being a detailer, but I can't really pressure wash the dash, so we'll have to do that nicely. The floor hasn't fared up too bad. Considering the whole floor was soaked with a wet carpet, it's not that bad. We have got some patchy areas, there's a random hole there. We've got some fiberglass areas. Where I pressure washed it, we have blown the paint off, but that is bare metal. And it's not rusty. We've got little spots. Not sure how far to go with the inside. It's not too bad. The carpets are out. They've come up clean. We'll have a look at them in a minute. But it just needs some hand brush paint, anti-rusty, just to fair it up a bit longer. If it had sat one more year in this field, I think it would have been game over. I've got the box out as well in the back. We've got some random patchwork welding going on. The hinges are a little bit bent on the back of the tailgate. It's been Schutz bombed in there. There's fiberglass here, and look, someone must have Schutzed it and then stood on the Schutz. Come on, brother John. So it's not the cleanest example, but I do believe it is still worth tidying up for MOT and a light runaround. Let's get it in the workshop, let's get it in the ramp, or on the ramp. Let's have a look underneath. Me and Andy did carry on cleaning after filming the last shots, and in the evening we tested out the lights. All the lights work nicely. Check these out. All the bulbs still intact. Brilliant. You get a new car and the bulbs are out within 5 minutes. Happy with that. After pressure washing the inside, I did vax all the excess water out, but it was still a bit damp in there. I wanted to get the blowers working, leave it ticking over, idling with the heaters roaring in there, dry all the floor out. blower motor didn't work, and I took it all apart. And if you can imagine an old brushed motor, they have a little metal spring that holds the brushes to the motor. One of them had completely rusted away. So I got a spring from a biro, a little spring, and I pushed on the brushes and super glued it in place. That is not temporary, that is a temporary permanent fix. Really happy, super cheap repair. Carpets come up nice. I pressure washed them, they've come up really nice. Obviously, in one corner where brother John was welding, all the welding rocks have gone all over the carpet. They could have done a bit more care or taken a bit more care to save the carpets, but they've come up right. For an older motor that's not mint, it might as well just be all right. Anyway, let's lift it up and have a look underneath. I'm a little bit unsure what we're going to find. It is booming sun. I should have been wearing the shades. So we've been squinting. No, it's not minting. What are we going to find? We can smell while it's running a slight coolant leak. And by the state of that radiator, I believe I found it. Ooh. Ooh. First impressions, all right. The floor pans are still there. Does look a little bit ropey on the seals. Obviously it's a W plate, it's going to look a bit corroded, but is the corrosion like a transit and holy? First of all, let's have a quick look for MOT. CV boots are intact, ball joint rubbers are intact, track rod end rubbers are intact, the shocks aren't leaking, the brake hoses aren't cracked. That's the same for both sides, and everything's original. Everything is original. Okay. We have got a bit of a leak from the gearbox. Okay, so it's the selector shaft seal. That's nice and easy. So that's power steering fluid too. So we have a little wheep from the power steering rack. That's not the end of the world. Okay, let's move on. So there is a bit ropey. So you've got a weird hanging down piece here. Suppose we could just chop that along. Same on both sides. So someone has been under it and given it the Schutz bomb, but they've laid it on really thick and they haven't peeled any flaky paint off. Ideally, all this flaky paint needs to come off. It needs to be wire brushed or wire wheeled, anti-rusted and then re-schutzed. Brake lines and the fuel lines look all right. Oh, it's getting a little bit ropey. We've got a patchwork quilt. We've also got... So it is a bit tired, but can it be MOT'd with like loads of advisories? Well, the back's got some funky plates going on too. It is a massive Schutz bomb under here. We've got something else that could do with trimming nicely. You could either weld a plate on it or cut a nicer line to make it look better. Needs the same treatment as we've done with the Caddy Maxi. It needs all wire brushing and then painting with some hammered black, and any flaky bits of paint, oh, seal lip's gone there, needs schutzing over. Brake pipes do look all right. Load sensing valve feels seized, needs unseizing. That brake pipe looks a bit ropey. And all the brake pipes have been covered in grease. Yes, it does save them, but nowadays you get an advisory if you've tonsed over your brake pipes. It's not as bad as it could be. Considering it was sat in a field, it's not as bad as it could be. It's a W plate. If it was more modern, all these CV boots would be worn out, all the wishbones would be worn out. It would be on its 7th exhaust. So it's not too bad. Maybe a leak from the CV drive shaft seal in the gearbox. It's not too bad. Unfortunately, all the tyres are cracked. It's got good tyres, but they've all got little hairline cracks in. And they would probably be an advisory, but you can't really trust them. So ideally it needs 4 tyres. That is the worst bit. So yeah, good and bad news. It's not too bad. Needs a bit of tonsing up, maybe a few patches of welding. But again, for an oldie, it's not too bad. Metal under tray, pretty cool. Nowadays they just have plastic ones. Overall, it's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse. Considering it was sat in a wet field, grass underneath it, it could have been a lot worse. The bodywork could have been worse. It could have been full of dents and really untidy. So overall, not too bad. A few nasty areas, but a few good areas. Now, I mentioned earlier in the video about the possibility of giving it a coat of paint, but I would like to retract that statement. Reason being, I don't want to spend, I want to make it roadworthy and MOTable, but the time it would take to do even a quick respray, we could spend on addressing underneath corrosion, replacing a few bits, tonsing a few bits of paint here and there to make it look a bit prettier for longevity. So rather than waste the time on a paint job, we could spend it elsewhere. Is it something you guys want to see? There's not going to be a build series. I'm not restoring it before anyone starts commenting down below. We're just going to make it mechanically sound and usable. So it'll be another episode fixing what we can for no money. We do need to buy it some tyres, or Pinch does, and a radiator, but I will do the mechanical side of things, and that way we both get a vehicle pretty cool to use as and when we need. Just a cheap little smoker. Let me know if you want to see another video and if we can get it through an MOT. Little update on the merch store. We are 9 days into taking t-shirt orders, and I said 7 to 10 days. There was about 3 or 4 days delay because the guy I'm dealing with went on holiday. What? How rude. First order, he's off on holiday, but he's back now. Everything is underway. There might be a day or 2 delay. So if you ordered t-shirts last Tuesday, you're thinking, where are they? He's taking the mickey. They're coming. Please be patient. It will be faster in the future. I do have some new stickers, good enough for the girls we date. We have got those on the merch store, or they will be over the weekend. This is a Friday video, so I'll do it over the weekend. We'll add some new stickers. I need to lower the price of the kids' t-shirts because I told the geezer I want them cheaper for the kids. They've sorted me out. Everything is going to plan. I now have a deadline on the Caddy Maxi to get it ready. 2 weeks from today, it needs to be ready. We need to smash it out, get it done, and get it sold. Sun's gone in for 2 minutes. I'll see you in the next one, guys. I'm out.